Welcome, everyone, to the Countdown Podcast, what we're calling the Countdown Movie Show.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
That's right, baby.
And specifically, this is counting down to number 9, the 9th Superman movie that they've made. If you count, I think we counted Justice League for that, even though that would be a bonus episode of this show.
It will. That's coming down the road.
Everything really kind of culminates in this show because we got the new Superman movie. We went to see the new Superman movie, and we're here to talk about the new Superman movie. That being Superman 2025 with David Swet, directed by James Gunn.
Wait a second. Who are you?
Paul Preston of the Movie Guys.
I'm Sean Blodgett of Creative Motion Entertainment.
And I'm Justin Bowler of The World.
Nice. This is, you know what, I'm super excited to talk about this because we just saw it the other night. We got right on Facebook, kind of shared our thoughts. We went to IHOP, chatted about it right afterwards. We got some recordings. We'll share some of those recordings. Maybe I'll cut that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or we won't share it at all because maybe it wasn't interesting and it was really boring. I don't really know. But the point is, this is going to be a fun show.
It's going to be awesome.
I would rather you not share that because at the time I was literally just about to say, let's not record anything, and he went, hey, we're here live at the whatever at the IHOP. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're recording this.
I can just delete it. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this show right now.
Well, I was sharing my theory about how sometimes you got to see a movie twice to really appreciate it. That happened.
Let it marinate.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was my favorite film of 2019. When I first saw it, I went, wow, that's a vibe. But the second time I saw it, as no, this is a masterpiece. Yeah. And then it just got, and then by the fourth, and I've seen it 4 times now, it's just fantastic. So Superman has a lot of movie going on, and I had to see it a second time, and my opinion improved greatly. So I would have also been inaccurately represented to be yapping when I was half tired at an IHOP at 4 in the morning or whatever the hell.
You know what? You're right about that. So that wouldn't be fair. So I'm glad we're getting rid of that.
Yeah.
I think in consistent fashion with the show, I think we should share what this movie's about. I hopped on IMDb. I've got a summary right here, and I'm not going to make it long. I'm just going to... Okay, everybody settle in. Here we go. When Superman gets drawn into conflicts at home and abroad, his actions are questioned, giving tech billionaire Lex Luthor the opportunity to get the Man of Steel out of the way for good. Will intrepid reporter Lois Lane and Superman's 4-legged companion Krypto be able to help him before it's too late? That is on IMDb. That's on IMDb. That's on IMDb. I just thought I'd share that, or maybe that's just on the web.
See, but
I don't know.
They have
that's on the web. That's a Google search.
They have summaries on IMDb, and they have the synopsis. I thought you were going to give us the longer of the two.
Okay,
but you,
all right, hold on. Wait a second.
Please
Since you asked for it, here we go. Chapter 1.
That's not
Superman. No, but anyway, I thought that was not bad. I don't know. They got a couple.
Well, first of all, they called him Superman, which is more than the last few synopses have done.
Yeah, that's right.
Where they just say an alien from another planet or Kal-El or whatever. This is Superman, and he's doing Superman stuff. It's set up at the beginning that he's been Superman. He's revealed himself to be Superman, and he's doing good, and he's helping people on the planet.
And we didn't need an origin story. We jumped right in. We got cards, we got bullet points on our first opening shot, and they're letting us know what's happening. They're like, backstory 300 years ago, backstory 30 years ago, backstory 30 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 30 seconds ago, 3 minutes ago, whatever.
A couple of things to clarify. First of all, as per usual, Justin's drinking. Secondly, there are spoilers in this episode. So if you have not seen the new Superman movie...
We can't talk about this movie for 2 hours and not do spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like people need to be forewarned in general because, you never know. You put on a podcast, you're listening, and something like, hey, don't ruin that for me. So, I don't want to do that to people.
You're correct.
So, yeah.
All 15 of our listeners could get upset.
13 of those are just us listening to it again.
We are really. Yeah. All right. So, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, stars David Swet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult. Production budget 200.
Brosnahan?
What did I just say?
You said Brosnahan.
Schneider.
Rachel Schneider. Production budget, $225 million. Okay, opening weekend. Now, these numbers, depending on where you go, they all change just a little bit. $22.5 million on Tuesday. That was the special Amazon screening. where if you were an Amazon Prime member, you were able to go see the movie at 7 o'clock in theaters.
How did that work?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. I'm curious how that worked.
I didn't hear about it till after it happened.
Yeah. So, including Tuesday, it's 123 million domestically for the weekend, 95 million worldwide for a total of 218 million.
Which seems low internationally. Has it opened everywhere already?
It has, but they attributed that to Superman being uniquely a United States property, truth, justice, and the American way. If you remember, Captain America, the first Avenger, also had a very small opening, and they thought the same thing, that he just didn't play anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't get behind the hey rah rah USA in other countries like we do.
And we barely do it here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it depends on where you are. This was though the third best opening of this year. What was the first best opening? Anybody know? These are two kind of obvious
Lilo
ones.
and Stitch.
No, that was number 2.
Oh,
number
no
1.
idea.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Minecraft. Minecraft. Was
Minecraft.
huge.
Oh, we should have known that.
No, kids
we
went to
known
Minecraft.
that.
It was crazy.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This past weekend, number 1, Soups. Number 2, Jurassic World Rebirth. And number 3, F1. Anybody see Rebirth?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did not.
I mean, my kids are really big Jurassic Park and Jurassic World fans, and they were like,
Yeah.
I mean, they want to see it just because they love that property, but they're like, even they know. Yeah, I mean, the trailer for that just looks like a job.
Well,
like it looks like they all
looks
went
like a job.
They all
Yes.
went, "Oh, we're going to get paid that much?" Yeah. We'll go in the jungle for a little while, run around from fake dinosaurs. Sounds awesome.
And I feel like the editor was in on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't need to put any feeling into this. I just show them running around in a jungle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the
we'll see.
scientific angle is, you know, that if that's unique and interesting as to why we would want to see dinosaurs again. I think it has something to do with their tie-in to people and keeping people healthy. I don't know. Like there's something in the dinosaurs that could
I think you're
cure a
right.
disease or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's interesting enough to go and check out. But essentially, the film franchise has just become monster chasing.
Yeah. Tomato meter is 82%. The popcorn meter, 93%.
Wow.
Before we get too much into it, agree? Disagree?
With your research?
With that?
I don't know. Are you bad at this?
Do you think the movie is... fair question.
I mean,
Do you think that that's accurate, that it's an 82% on the tomato meter? That's critics, popcorn is audience, and 93. Would you agree with that's what you think the movie was? Because I look at those and I go, yeah, that's where I'd put it.
yeah, I think so.
Would I give it an 83 out of 100?
As a critic, I'm like 83, maybe 85. As an audience member who just wanted a great movie finally to go and enjoy about Superman, 93. Maybe I'd have given it a 95.
Yeah, maybe 75.
I
for
agree
me.
with both of those.
Yeah.
He is still in that.
Yeah.
I
I'll
thought you
explain.
said second screening was,
It was better, yeah. Boy, it went up
Where
to
were you?
75.
Where were you before?
Lower. Yeah.
What? That low? I guess you were that low.
Yeah.
I just thought it was the pancakes talking.
Okay. The Batman, domestically, first weekend, 205 million. Batman,
Internationally?
No, domestically.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Batman v Superman, domestically, 166 million. Man of Steel, domestically, 116. So this barely edged out Man of Steel. And I think it is a far superior movie to any of those.
Ooh.
I agree. The Batman doesn't do as much for me as it does for some people.
Yeah.
The Batman I didn't love. I do love Man of Steel. I do like that movie. This is such a different Superman movie than we've seen, I think, ever in some ways. And in other ways, it's amazing the amount of storylines that are consistent with other Superman movies. That part really...
Yeah.
The more I thought about the story of this, I mean, not all the story elements, but there's the overarching story of things. I'm like, wow, that's really similar to this. And, oh, that's like literally this story. And, oh, okay, so I don't know.
You are reading James Gunn's mind right now in what you've just said. James Gunn's approach during pre-production blended nostalgia with innovation, leaning on classic themes, the red trunks, the Williams score, while introducing contemporary filmmaking techniques, fast-paced storytelling. And he absolutely borrowed from 3 or 4 major comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including one I had never heard of before. What's the Grant Morrison one? All-Star Superman, I think it was called, where Superman realizes he's dying and then sets out to do all these things before he dies.
Yeah.
Because he had gotten too much sun, I guess, which, they've been telling us you get too much sun.
You get too much sun. It's gonna hurt
Because
your wrist.
even the SPF 50 just doesn't help him.
No.
It just,
No.
But so that's interesting that he pulled from, because when I read about what that was about, I said, he pulled from that? I mean, okay, that's not what happens in this movie, but interesting.
During pre-production, David Cornsweet is from Juilliard.
Huh.
Just like Christopher Reeve.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
That's really cool. I tried to find some behind the scenes for this. There's not a lot available yet, and I'm sure there's tons more coming now that it's out. I think that was smart. That I don't like that they release too much behind the scenes now. I think it's too much. But anyway, what I saw was interesting. But what you just said speaks to what one of the things I saw was on set. He just looked more comfortable than I felt like anybody who was doing that role and had that much on their shoulders should look.
Yeah.
He just looked comfortable and confident and not cocky, not like, oh, I deserve, nothing like that. Just like, here I am doing this, and, I could be doing this, or I could be, doing some other play somewhere, like,
Just out doing his job.
Just out doing my job.
He's looking at the material, he's studying it, he's performing it as the writer has written.
I could see that. Yeah.
There is an ease to him for someone in that position of everyone's watching.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
Over 400 actors auditioned or submitted tapes for Superman. Cornsweet emerged very early as the guy to beat. Director James Gunn praising him for his audition and his chemistry. Gunn personally evaluated 30 tapes for both Superman and Lois. What's interesting, we'll get into people who did audition, but he says he wasn't looking for the best Superman and the best Lois. He was looking for the best Clois, as he says it, the best Clark and the best Lois, the best Clois. Who had the best chemistry? Now, he goes on to say, like any smart person would, he got all three. But he said he was truly watching that chemistry, which I think definitely plays. We'll get into that.
And and you know what scene it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's our early interrogation scene. Well, interview. These are some of the people
But wait.
Yeah.
I want to clarify that. That whole scene is a relationship moment.
100%.
That whole scene is an establishment that these people have been seeing each other. There's a depth to their relationship, but there's still a newness to their relationship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of curiosity, but there's also desire and lust and excitement and friendship and caring and confusion. There's so much actually going on in the scene. The other thing I did see was that James Gunn, he wrote a different version of that scene for the audition, which I thought was cool. Of course, obviously, just to keep things safe and secure and before anything gets released. But I thought, wow, that's kind of fun too. So yeah.
Yeah, I do love in that sequence, and once again, we're jumping ahead, but we'll come back. In that sequence specifically, because it's so new, when you're still early on in the relationship and there are things you're afraid to ask or you haven't talked about, like maybe you really like this person, and then all of a sudden politics come up, and it's like, that's got to be something you talk about at one point, right? And so like no one has asked the question, how do you feel about this, or how do you feel about that, or is it a big deal, or is it not a big deal? Like there was so much of like, now the reporter in her is stepping out, and the reporter has to ask these questions, but clearly Lois has never asked those questions.
Well, this is something that got cleared up for me on the second viewing, because as much as I was thrilled there was no origin story, I did feel kind of thrown in to this interview. It kind of caught me off guard because it covered so much, and I was just meeting these characters. Even though I know the characters, I'm meeting this version of them and how they're going to be portrayed here. A second viewing kind of let me relax in all that back and forth and just enjoy the dialogue, the moments of tension and charm, and Superman's passion for saving people. Clearly one of the highlights of that whole sequence.
And his motivation and justification for but I was saving lives. He kept saying that throughout the movie, but I was saving lives. And I remember being like, yes, that's awesome.
That is good versus bad. Like I don't care what your politics are. I don't care this versus that. I saved people. Those people are still alive because I did the right thing. That's the right thing. The right thing is saving someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it might have been also because of the whole Baravia Jahanpur.
Jahanpur. Yeah.
Jahanpur. Yeah, I was like, wait, what is all this? I wasn't quite sure what all of that was. So all that kind of just was a stumbling block for me to really lean into that scene until the second time.
These are some of the other actors and actresses that auditioned. Tom Brittney was a finalist, obviously not cast.
Who is that?
For Superb. I looked up Tom Brittney, and he's pretty.
Okay.
That's all I got from you.
Well, write that one down.
Yeah. Jacob Elordi, Andrew Richardson, Pearson Fody from Supergirl also were in very early consideration, all three of them. Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I had heard about that one.
Submitted a tape. Didn't get much of a response, apparently.
Looks great, but I don't know if he'd pull it off. But he is a star.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw White Lotus, he's great. And I look forward to whatever he does next.
Jack Quaid from The Boys. Do you not know Jack Quaid?
Yeah,
he auditioned. And he's done the voice before. I mean, he'd have to put on a lot of muscle to be Superman.
Who is he in The Boys?
He's our main guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
he auditioned?
Yeah. He's done the voice of Superman animated for...
I mean, I'd put him as Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, maybe. Nicholas Hoult actually auditioned to be Superman, and then they quickly pivoted to him as Lex.
They shared a story about that on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he's like, he went into the audition, he came out, he's like, look at this guy. Like, he's sitting next to David Cornswell going, what about, I'm not going to be Superman. Right. Okay, so let me think about what else I can do.
This guy's going to be Superman. I'm not.
Wasn't he shortlisted for Batman, too?
He was.
With Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, we were going to get to that, yes.
No.
And both of the Skarsgård brothers auditioned and were not cast. Both Bill and Alexander. Yeah. Interesting where they would have gone. Lowest finalists include Emma Mackey.
Again, they both look good, but I've never seen Bill be funny. He kind of is funny in Barbarian, but to be charming like that, he doesn't quite have it. He's most of the time he plays someone so dark, it'd be a tough swing the other direction.
I completely agree. To be charming and likable right off the bat, just at a glance, just standing there, that's tough.
Like Reeve, just standing there, and he's Superman.
Emma Mackey, Phoebe Dynevor? I don't know who that is. And
who else have we never heard of?
Samara Weaving
for these parts. Samara Weaving, she's great.
Yeah. Rachel Brosnahan, obviously. Excuse me, Rachel Schneider, who ultimately won the part.
We had talked about it that night at the IHOP, how much we liked her. She's just awesome in this role. She's definitely my new favorite Lois. When we did the other episodes, I was actually just listening to one of ours today on the way up here, and I had talked about how much I liked Amy Adams, and I do like Amy Adams as Lois. I think she's great, but this woman is just tremendous.
I agree.
She's incredible.
She's my favorite Lois. I love the fact that they cast older. You know, she's 34 when they were cast, which I like. I don't want a huge age discrepancy between my Superman and my Lois. It's set up in that scene. You know, she sees herself as a flawed individual.
Yep.
And she sees herself as flawed because she asks questions. You know, she has to ask the question. And I love that. And that's why she's good at what she does.
Yep.
Yeah. Thought it was fantastic.
Yep.
Red Trunks. They were Cornsweat's idea. He said, originally James Gunn didn't want to do it. And he said, if you think this makes me look silly, doesn't that make me more approachable to a child? And you want a Superman that a child will approach, won't you? Isn't that what you want? And Gunn agreed. And he said, all right, let's start working on designs with the trunks. But it was Cornsweat's idea.
Also, I never thought about it. When I saw him be Superman and he had the trunks, that's just how Superman looks.
This is
I
true.
never went, it looks weird. Because I never did when I was a kid. To your point. And so I just thought, that's Superman.
That's a good point.
There's a moment in the behind the scenes I watched that is him standing there and he's like, yeah, trunks, like underwear on the outside. He's like, I feel liberated. I love that. And he just seems like the greatest guy. I mean, I'm looking at this image of him on my computer right now, too. I went to the Superman.com website, which I had not visited. Pretty interesting. But this image of him, he looks so young. This guy looks so young. It's incredible to see that. But I like his innocence. There's an innocence about him that is just really nice to have back.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a Henry Cavill fan. I think he's awesome. He was huge in the, like, literally physically huge. I mean, the guy's just like a tank, right? And he's really a great actor. but there's a darkness. There's an edge to him, which is of course why he got cast in those movies. But it was just nice to see Superman be this friendly, like, okay, I'm going to hold the building while the one lady drives away. Anytime now, just go ahead and just punch it. I don't know.
He rescues a squirrel.
Yeah, that's
in the middle of a fight scene, he saves a squirrel.
I love that moment. Yes.
Come on. It's just the guy, he just wants to do good. Now, it's interesting because it's like there isn't that much of a difference between our Clark and our Superman, in my opinion. But it's just like Superman just wants to do the right thing. That's what he wants to do. He's not yet anyway. Christopher Reeve turned into that, yes, Miss Lane, do you have a question for me? He turned into that, and we didn't really see Corn Swet do that. He remained this guy who is vulnerable. Corn Swet gained 40 pounds of muscle for this role.
40 pounds?
He's naturally a lean guy.
That's like
Jimmy Stewart-esque, I'm saying.
There were shots of him in the gym. Yeah, the people were like, talk about sweat. And he was all jacked.
The original title was also called Superman Legacy, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a good title.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
Did you see the commercial with Corn Swet, James Gunn, and Shaquille O'Neal?
No.
I won't spoil it. It'll just be something we post. It's fun.
Okay.
If you missed it, pretty fun.
Well, I thought David Corn Swet was fantastic, but it doesn't hurt that the writing is delivering up a Superman that's easy to root for.
Yes.
That's fun to root for.
You want him to succeed.
So he's the right casting for this particular script of Superman.
Yeah. James Gunn tweeted that the death of his father was an influence on the screenplay, and the film's release date, July 11th, 2025, was his father's birthday.
Oh, wow.
That's
I like the personability of that.
Right? Yeah.
I really like James Gunn, not only as a filmmaker, but I feel like he had a lot, personally invested in this.
Yeah.
I feel like that comes across on the screen.
I think in almost everything he does, it comes across.
Yeah. There's a lot of personal investment.
Yeah.
He understands relationship. I've said this before. I think any of these movies, whether it's Superman or Guardians of the Galaxy or Star Wars or whatever movie it is, I do think at some point it comes back to love. It comes back to some kind of caring about someone else, something bigger than yourself, and doubling down on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was something about the weird silence, almost uncomfortability that was in the room after the line about Lois calling out Superman as thinking everyone is beautiful. And he says, maybe that's punk rock.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
And it's a line so sincere. Audiences didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It out-sincered the audience who was ready to be detached or cynical about whatever the movie's offering up. And so it was a weird... Second time I saw it, there was definitely... boy, this is almost... There's an uncomfortable silence for a second. And it wasn't just like everyone was quiet. It's everyone kind of went...
Yeah. Like you're
That's
right. Like, hey, dweeb. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Did you see the other films Corn Swet's been in? Pearl or Twisters?
No, I did not. But once again, another fun thing. He found out while shooting Twisters that he got this. He shared it with the cast, and the TikTok videos that were released from the cast members of Twister congratulating him, awesome!
Oh.
That's so awesome. Yeah, very cool. Another thing we'll be posting.
Yeah, he's great in that. And he's great in Pearl. So I was hoping for good things when he took the lead.
Both he and Rachel Brosnahan have worked on the same show, but in different seasons. They were both in House of Cards.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's talk about casting. Holt as Lex Luthor. What'd you think?
Loved him.
Spectacular.
Yeah, I
right?
thought he was really good.
Just those big blue eyes, perfectly shaved head. I bought every single thing that he said. I was like, 100%, I believe you. There's nothing put on about this.
Yeah, he was maniacal when he had to be.
Yep.
He was young when he had to be.
Yeah.
He was overbearing when he had to be, and evil when necessary. Evil. So I thought he fit the bill quite well in most everything that I liked him.
Sean?
Yeah.
And of course his resemblance to Bezos is probably, I mean, that's how the character has always looked. Maybe it's more Bezos is looking more like Lex Luthor is not a mistake.
I liked him. I don't know if I loved everything, but I really, really, really liked him. I think there's a little part of me that would have liked Lex Luthor to be a little older. The fact that it's kind of a comparative in terms of age, I don't know, and maybe that's just the old Gene Hackman thing kind of creeping in for me.
I'd be curious to know how old Hackman was when he made the movie, and was he as old as Holt is now?
Well, yeah, 1970s, 30s is more like 2025's 50s. So.
Correct. But they littered him with great bits that Hackman's version of Lex Luthor would have been great at. Imprisoning ex-girlfriends for negative blogs, which was hilarious.
Yes.
And, of course, I love the monkey sending out negative social media posts.
Super shit.
Just great.
Gene Hackman was 58.
When he made that movie?
Well, 58 when he made that movie.
So that is a decidedly older.
Nope. 48.
Still decidedly older Lex Luthor.
Yeah. They're around the same age facing each other.
Yeah.
I think my only other thing is I think I would have liked to have seen him genuinely enjoy his power a little bit more.
Interesting.
I still felt like there were times, and maybe that was a direction, so I don't know, but I would have liked to have seen him just enjoy what he had accomplished a little bit more, because I still felt like throughout, even as the movie progressed and we got to the third act, I really felt like he was still a little bit on edge as to whether or not he was going to win.
Right.
And I think that's a healthy direction, because you don't want to feel like you've already won and now there's no real arc to this and whatever. And you still want to have that, like, I'm trying to win something. But there were moments I would have liked to have seen him just maybe revel in a more genuine kind of revelatory way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense. But
no, it does make sense, but it also makes sense why we didn't see it. There's one specific moment in the second viewing that he's with the president of Arabia, and the president of Arabia is like, we got him, we got Superman.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, the next step is this. And he's like, he's not, he's the calculator, Lex is. And he's like, we're not celebrating.
Yeah.
We got this next thing that we're going to do first. This is just step one. Yes, we took him out of commission.
Would any other Lex casting choice have cried? I thought that was interesting. When he got busted at the end, and his arms busted up, Crypto beat his ass, and he's like, I'm done. He cries.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. I thought it was...
But
it doesn't necessarily humanize him, but it does make you go, it's just some different take on Lex I hadn't seen yet.
I don't know, but the thing that I loved about that is, like, there's no screaming he can do at that point. There's no yelling he can do. He can't insult. He's just effed at that point.
Yeah.
And he knows he is.
Yeah.
And, maybe the calculating guy inside is like, how do I get out of this? What am I going to do as soon as I get out of this and try and come back for it? Like, I also loved early on. Now, this goes back. I think Jesse Eisenberg is a great actor. I really do. I think he's super talented.
He's super talented.
But I just think that his take on Lex Luthor was misguided, misdirected, was all these things that I just disagreed with. Also, we had the conversation of, in Batman v Superman, I don't know what Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor wanted. I don't know what he wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know what his main motivation was.
Right.
Was it money? Was it power? What was it? And then here, when they go inside the Fortress of Solitude, he's looking at the computer and he says, I dislike all metahumans, but I especially hate him. The cocky grin. And he starts to describe Superman. And you can tell, it's almost like you can see him getting ready to vomit. Like, he really just detests this guy because he's an alien, because he's not him, because he's everything that Lex could never be.
Jelly.
And then exactly. And then later we even get the brain beats brawn, and he's so proud of it. The brain is gonna beat the brawn on this. I'm so much smarter and better than you. And then even embracing the envy of, like, yes, I'm envious and I'm smart too. God, you just hate everything about him. Like,
I agree. I agree with all that, and that's a good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good observation. I think maybe I was just thrown off by his age. I just think that some. We talked about is it Bryan Cranston? Yeah, that he was up for Lex at some point, and the other ones. Someone of that age, with those same choices, brings a different depth to those choices. It's just an age thing. It's not something you can fake. It's not something you can act act. It's not something you can just pretend
It's
through.
just an understanding.
It's just an understanding of
someone
it,
on
right?
their way out versus someone coming in.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what it is. I would have liked to have maybe seen Lex be older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of that to say, he's great. He is great in the role, and he does do a great job acting it. But that was a filmmaker choice to go younger, and I don't think it was wrong. It was maybe not what I was used to, so maybe that's why I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Corn Sweat. What'd you think? Is he better than Christopher Reeve? Did you like him? Did you like his choices?
Yes.
No one
And
is
yes.
better than Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
I loved his choices. I love his confidence. I love his friendliness, if that's like a way to like just look at him look at him in the image, just looks friendly.
Yeah,
you know?
he does.
I mean, I really like him as an actor. That scene with Lois, the interview scene, that scene to me is actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole film because it's well written, it's well acted. And they really dug into stuff there, and he wasn't afraid to go there, and I really appreciated all of that. So I thought he was great, and I also, I mean, even when he's playing in the very opening of the film, and he's wounded and all that stuff, and the dog's like, pouncing on him and stuff, and he's like, I mean, I believed all those moments. I thought he did. I believed everything he did, and I think that's saying a lot.
I completely agree. So many moments where he's just being there, and you just like him. Mm-hmm. He's just likable. Once again, the moment with Supergirl where she comes in and he's just looking at her like, yeah, that's my cousin, and this is what she does, and she insults me. It's okay. It was fantastic.
Yes,
I loved it.
yes.
So many of those moments.
I agree.
You can see why the dog's the way it is.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of what he's saying.
No boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we move on from him, were there some other moments that stood out to you acting wise for him? Because I do think he got a lot more opportunity to just be an actor, to deliver some good scenes than Henry Cavill did. Henry Cavill had a lot of like just brooding and quiet stuff, and like he was very good at that, but he didn't have a lot of like big dialogue scenes.
He didn't.
So were there any other scenes that stood out to you guys with him? That
I told Paul on my second viewing, I started to tear up a little bit on his monologue of like, I wake up every morning and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I put one foot in front of the other and I just move forward. And I make mistakes. I make a lot of them. Like that whole speech, I was sad that it was only 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could have made this 2 minutes and I'd have been crying.
Yeah.
Like it was so great. It was so humanizing.
Yeah.
It was so relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling you that one of my problems with the movie the first time and even the second was DC, even though we've transitioned to a new version of DC's extended universe and brought in James Gunn, they still just have a penchant for too much CGI at the end. Between the black hole and the Proton River or whatever it was called and the rift and all that, it was just a lot of visual noise. Stuff happened. I don't care. It was bludgeoning and his camera was spinning. But then when he gets to that speech, that's what I want. You could just do that and trim the fat on that and let him talk because he did a great job delivering all that.
To your point about the CG, and I mentioned this at the IHOP after we watched the movie, when we got into that scene and he beat Lex and all of that was sort of wrapping up, I was sitting there nervous thinking, oh my God, here we go again. Lex is going to push some button and some crazy monster is going to come out of nowhere.
That
and
we haven't introduced. Here's the God of War, Ares.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I was waiting for it. And I am looking forward to a second viewing because that moment for me, I didn't really get to enjoy the ending as much because I was sitting there going, oh my God, here they go. They're going to send another damn stupid thing again. And they didn't. And I was like, thank you, James Gunn, for stopping whoever keeps saying, no, we need to go bigger.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get back to the stuff that works best in any of these films.
Yes.
And that speech was one of those things.
Yep.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern.
Oh my God. Brilliant, great, awesome. Loved every second of it.
If you've read Guy Gardner, you know that he'd be great in the film.
Yeah.
And voila, we've done it.
Yeah,
so he's great.
What I didn't know is
Dispatching the tanks with the middle fingers. I mean, just
so fantastic. Yeah, that haircut should be against your oath. Yeah, well, 348 chicks think otherwise. Come on. The fact that he has a number at his fingertips tells you what the kind of guy he is. Nathan Fillion and James Gunn are best friends.
Yeah, well, they've been working together for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. No, their friendship goes back a very, very long time. They've done 7 films together, and it's to the point where Nathan just says yes. You know, James calls him up and says, I got a part for you. He's like, great. And he doesn't even know what the part is. He doesn't know what he's going to be doing. He just says yes because, you know, you like to work with your friend. I totally get that. Slither, Super, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Superman. What's hilarious is that because he just took such small roles in some of those, I didn't even know he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was just going to say, where is he in those?
Yeah. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2014, he provides the voice of an alien prisoner making his first MCU role. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he appears on an in-universe movie poster as Simon Williams. The cameo is actually cut from the final edit. And then in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, he plays Master Karja, a minor yet credited role. Whatever. Yeah, crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was due for a big part.
Yeah.
This was a great one.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that, you know, another thing that DC used to not do well before Marvel started doing it and showing them up was putting a bunch of characters, too many characters in a movie.
Right.
Like, you go back to like your Batman Forever, Batman, right? Yeah. But the MCU clearly, by the time they hit Endgame and they had 500 characters and they balanced it well, that was just like a miracle. Like, how did they even do that? So here's DC again. All right, we're going to bring too many characters into it, but it didn't dilute the film for some reason.
Right.
So kudos to that pacing and scripting to make all that happen and successfully.
Well, I mean, I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a great training ground for him to get there because when the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out, this is kind of like when the first Avengers movie came out. I thought, man, this is going to suck. This is going to suck like it's
Guardians of the Galaxy?
And Avengers. I was like, this is going to be terrible. Because, to your point, up until then, I had only experienced these Batman movies, and every time they brought more heroes or more villains on the screen, it was just chaos and terrible. Yeah. There was no real character development. Nobody really cared about it. It was just fodder for kids to try to, you know, buy toys, right? It was just whatever. And then Avengers happens, and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. That worked.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to. That's great. And then Guardians of the Galaxy comes, and I'm like, I don't even really know what this is.
What if we had that many characters in a movie, but no one knew who any of them were?
Right.
Yeah. Being such a big Star Wars fan, I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and I went, man, I mean, I hate saying this, but do we need Star Wars? Because this has sci-fi and superheroes.
Yeah.
I kind of got it all right here. I was really confused for a little while. No, we still need Star Wars.
Did you see the Guardians footage at Comic-Con before it ever was released?
Of the first one?
Yeah, when they first...
Yes.
We filmed... Remember that? We filmed a little bit, and here we'll show you. And the footage looked amazing.
Yeah,
like, they've been filming for like 3 weeks.
They've been filming,
but they cobbled together a dynamite sizzle reel. It was like... So if you were there, they would have early taken care of all those feelings for you, because we left going, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Besides, like, kick-ass.
Yeah, so awesome.
In answer to your question of, like, how did they do it, Gunn was asked in an interview, he's like, how do you make a movie that has so many different characters? And he said, you think there are a lot of characters, but there aren't. He said, we've got a dozen in this movie. He said, maybe 10. And every piece of information that we have always comes from one of those 10. It doesn't come from an outside source. It always comes from one of our 10 characters. And there's a reason why the information is coming from that specific person, and there's always their take on it. So every time that person speaks, you get some of their personality. You get a little bit of their backstory. You know, Hawk Girl is going to tell you something different than Green Lantern is. And he's going to say it in a way that says so much more about his character than the way Hawk Girl says it. And he's like, we just keep rolling through them. And he's like, Guardians of the Galaxy, same thing. You just keep rolling through those characters. And I was like, wow. Script writing 101. Well done, buddy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why you see in this movie, and I said this to you immediately when I think it was in the IHOP. There's so much of this movie that's just circular. Something's brought up, and then it's brought up again, and then it's addressed, and it's brought up again, and then we see it again, even though it's been addressed. And it's just like you keep wrapping things around, and it's just so great the way the way he weaves in and out of it. I don't know. I absolutely loved it.
Also, you brought up Hawk Girl, so I'm just going to say I thought she was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought she was a lot of fun. It was a big enough role that you cared, and not so big that it took away from anything else, and her moments here or there were they were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I like
good.
her in most things. Last of Us and Alien Romulus.
Right.
Yeah, she's quite good. She's quite good.
I don't have it here in my notes, but I think I read somewhere that she had originally auditioned to be Batgirl in the shelved Batgirl movie.
I read that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, but she's glad
dodged
she
the bullet there.
Dodged that
Good
bullet.
for her. I'm going to pronounce the name wrong. Eddie Gathegi, I think is his
Sure.
name. Mr. Terrific. Come on.
Brilliant.
That was
brilliant.
Okay, first off, the best action scene in the entire movie. In my opinion.
Oh my God! Yes.
and on top of
And,
that-
and with Lois there, just like
Yes.
watching it. That was one of my favorite things about that scene. Was she was us.
Yes.
She was us.
She was.
She's like watching this whole thing unfold, and I'm like, oh my God! And it was great. I loved it. Sorry, Paul. Sorry. I get real excited about these things.
Sometimes Paul can't deal with how loud Sean and I get.
It's fun. Ear surgery. What are you going to do?
We love you.
I loved that sequence. I loved everything about him. He had, the greatest walkaway line in the entire movie, in my opinion, which was, "Do you need help? I don't need any help. I'm Mr. Goddamn Terrific."
Well, when he busts open the portal for the first time, hell yeah.
It's just,
What is this character?
Yes, exactly.
Like, have you ever seen him in a comic before?
I do not
I've
know
never heard of
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific.
I don't know Mr.
Great
Terrific at
pluck
all.
out of nowhere and make him
Right.
super important.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
and on top of that, I love the fact that it's just this guy. As I'm reading about him, the character has 12 PhDs. He's super smart. He's got his T-spheres, which was another thing of just like circles are flat, T-spheres. Like schooling Lois, but it's just like he's not presented as Pierce Brosnan presents Dr. whatever he was.
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not erudite. He's not perfect in that fashion. No, he's street level awesome.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, it was Shaft as a superhero. It was so awesome.
That's a great
pull.
All right, I haven't brought up a bad thing yet, but let me bring up a bad thing. So I was a little confused, but okay. My first screening, I was confused for much of the film that the Krypton message from
His parents
was actually damage. I thought maybe Luthor was saying this, twisting it, and doing something to try and frame Superman.
Right.
Because I still think it's pretty dumb how computer guys basically determined that it's real. And Mr. Terrific back that, I know computer guys. I was like, what? I mean, computer guys wasn't whatever the word was. It's like computer.
Yes, the
what do you
tech
know about
guys.
Kryptonian language?
Yeah.
Did you really? You're backing the fact that this is real? At the end we discussed at the IHOP discussion. It was a stronger choice for it to be real. Of course, again, Superman's mission is one that he makes up to be a good person, as opposed to it being a charge from some home planet that he lived in, and that's a better central message for Kal-El. But it was just weird that everyone knows this was a bad message from Krypton, and no one knows Kryptonian language.
It's interesting you say that, because when I originally saw the movie, it bothered me a little. That's the reason why I don't give this 100%. And it was because of one or two little things like that. But I will say, in the second viewing, first off, Lex Luthor on television says, "We have verified that this is a real audio file or a real visual file, hasn't been tampered with." And then Mr. Terrific says, "I know these guys. They're not messing around. They know how to do it." And then it's a third time in the conference room where some secretary is talking to Frank Grillo, and he says, "Well, it turned out that really was the real footage."
Right.
He really did hammer it home that there's no question that this footage is real. Now, once again, how do we get there? I don't know, but Gunn was like, we can't let people think that this isn't real. We got to really hammer this home.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got confused because I shouldn't have, based on what you just said. But the idea that would all be real felt weirder than Luthor making up the whole story. And I thought maybe this would be a strong choice. Maybe Superman has to decipher the message. Maybe he's put face to face with it because he knows Kryptonian language.
Oh my God.
And says something about it, and then has to.
And the Man of Steel isn't going to lie, so he says, "This is what they say."
That's what I would have done.
That would have been,
Holy
honestly,
crap.
in that moment when because instead he just sees it and then people comment, right?
Right.
But for him to have to be the one, news cameras pointing at him and all this stuff, Superman, what does it say? What does it say? And he has to say,
He says, they want me to rule you
Yeah.
and show no mercy.
Something to that effect.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
All right, James Gunn, call us next time.
I mean, honestly, that is a really good pull.
Well,
yeah.
then public sentiment also shifts in like hilarious Simpsons mob mentality type of way thereafter. Hey, that computer screen on the thing just said something. Let's just throw crap at Superman.
I will say
I'm like, wait a second. Superman literally just stopped a kaiju from destroying the city, and one little thing on the screen, and it just, boy, they moved on a dime.
I will say, it is funny, whenever I see something like that, what kind of dummy would throw something at any superhero? Right?
Right.
Right.
But I mean, come on, right? Like, I don't care how mad you are. You don't grab your Coke cup and throw it at Superman, because he turns around and he kills you instantly, and
Right.
you're dead. And oh well, at least you got to throw a
Right.
cup at
Now,
him.
Superman wouldn't do that because he's Superman. But if you just learn that he's there to enslave
Right.
and kill you, yeah, you don't do
Then
that.
he absolutely would. Exactly.
I mean, these are all very good points. Can we jump back for a second?
yes,
I want to talk about the very opening of the film,
sure.
which I loved. I think it's a singular shot, and those lines come up.
Yeah.
What do those lines say? It's like
300
years ago, something
metahumans-
about the what does it say about the metahumans?
Metahumans came to Earth 300 years ago.
So the metahumans came to Earth from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what does it say?
Then it was
30 years ago,
Kal-El came to Earth.
Give you an idea how old he is.
And then we go into the 30
Yes.
minutes and the all
3
that.
years ago, he
3
revealed
years.
himself as Superman.
Right.
3 weeks ago, he stopped a war in Baravia, between Baravia and Jahanpur. 3 hours ago,
He lost his first fight. No, that's 3
that was
minutes
3
ago.
minutes ago. 3 hours ago, they sent the Hammer of Baravia to Metropolis, and 3 minutes ago, he lost his first fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole setup, I know we talked about it, how clean, like in Paul, you always love these, like, okay, here's the setup and we're off to the races.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And I totally agree with that point of view. Like, it was really, really fun. And even though they released a majority of that opening as a teaser thing,
Yeah.
I still really enjoyed all of that.
100%.
It was, and I loved that they had these opening lines that came up, because that wasn't part of the teaser
Right.
piece. And it was a great setup. And I was literally sitting there going, yeah, Paul's right. We're off to the race.
We are,
you know,
100%.
yeah.
And then kind of
Yeah.
sprinkled with the John Williams theme
Yes.
Yeah.
to
Right
sort
on.
of set you in the zone, and then they stray from that.
But
Yeah.
also, in that small introduction, we get everything we need to know about a character who's going to make a couple more appearances throughout this film and is going to do exactly what he does at the very beginning. We get our introduction to Crypto, who is a puppy who's enthusiastic, who has not had any obedience training at all. Smart dog, understands to take him home,
Right.
but other than that, doesn't recognize that he's hurt, is too busy, wants to play, grabs his arm, or taking his all over his arm, and it's just like that continues throughout the entire film. I absolutely loved their interpretation of Crypto.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I just thought it was fantastic. This puppy that's out of control, and Superman having to deal with it.
Do we ever get any kind of clarification about, is Crypto from Krypton? Like, I know it's technically Supergirl's dog, right?
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
but I don't, like, where do the powers come from?
Perhaps we'll learn that in the next movie.
Right. I assume
I like
Crypto
that.
is
Yeah.
from Krypton, maybe came down with her. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a just go with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Just go with it.
yeah, look, I'm fine with it. I like that. I mean, I like it. Just go with it. I think that's good. So yeah,
But
yeah.
even going back to, once again, how he deals with everything, and he's just so great. Crypto grabs Lex Luthor and he's whipping him around. And
Oh,
people
my
are screaming.
God.
And then finally Crypto drops him, and he just says, he just looks at the dog and says, "Dude."
Yeah.
So
He gave a dude to him earlier, too. One of the first lines Superman says is, "What the hey, dude?"
yeah.
What the hey, dude?
Also-
so total Boy Scout, but modern day Boy Scout.
And
Yes,
on top of
yes.
that, one of the first lines that he says when he's not hurt is "golly."
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
yeah.
it's just
And
like-
it's said very subtly. You,
Oh, yeah.
you have to really be listening for it. Yeah. I love that. The glasses. I liked that there was an explanation about that.
First time ever.
Ever.
So great. Hypno glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Comes from the comics, apparently.
I almost would have liked something to have happened to the glasses, and the robot friends from Krypton or whatever had to fix them, and that was why we found out what they were instead of it just being sort of a throwaway line. But I don't know. That's just a little too much. But
any other characters that really stood out for you?
Well, who was that weird bowl cut Coke bottle glasses guy with the mustache who worked for Lex? It's a little distracting, I guess. But he
I kept thinking he was like, I used to work for Siegfried and Roy, but now I work in computers.
I used to work in porn, I thought.
His counterpart, the African American guy, Terrence Rosemore. I'm screwing up his name.
All the names we don't know, you're getting wrong.
Yes.
And that's why. We don't know who they are.
He's directly under Lex. He's the big African American guy.
The two guys who let go of the...
Yes. Do you know what his character's name is?
I did look that up, yeah.
Otis Berg.
Otisberg.
Otisberg. Mr. Luthor, I just thought, Otisberg.
I appreciated that. Without saying it and driving it home.
Exactly.
It's a dumb thing.
Love it.
The fact that they never called her Eve Tessmacher. They just called her Eve the entire film.
Appreciated that too.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't need to drive it home.
Going back to the Fortress of Solitude, just a dumb thought. If sunlight heals you, Antarctica?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There you go. This is true.
Why would you build your place? Okay.
Why not go to Hawaii?
Somehow there is some there.
Let's get rid of the crystals in the cold. Let's go into the sun, people. Come on now.
Yeah.
I need sunlight. Where should I build my house?
Yeah, I need sun. That is really actually
that's a great point.
That is actually quite funny. Yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh, wait, I got to say also in terms of the opening, because they set up the metahumans thing as soon as that girl comes flying in, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, we don't need a ton of explanation. Nope. It's like, okay, I'm on board, totally get it. We're good. So I just had to mention that just because, again, that could have been just too much explanation, or it could have been too little. It was sort of just enough. I just think this is the brilliance of James Gunn. He kind of understands the balance of taking this pop culture thing and making sure that it's. We use this all the time, in the corporate creative meetings. It was it's snackable, right? You can eat it and everybody gets it, right? Snackable, and it was. I totally got that. Anyway,
that's the engineer. It's great because I agree. We know she's a metahuman.
Yeah.
Right? But then we get a little bit on her backstory that she used to be a person. They actually mention it 3 times. They say, used to be a person, she's been enhanced with nanotech. So now anything she imagines, she can turn into. It is then mentioned one more time. And then when he is fighting her at the very end, Superman still says, it's not too late for the two of you.
Yeah.
He's still trying to convince. You don't have to be evil. You can be good.
By the way, now that you even mentioned that, that seems even more poignant to me. I pause and I think about that line and I go, yes. Why aren't we saying that more and more superhero? Hey, by the way, we don't actually need to fight, guys.
Right.
Let's stop.
Right. Well, he even says it to Lex.
Yeah.
Loki learned his lesson, kind of.
I'm human. And if you think about it, that's what makes you human too. He's literally making the plea. Knock it off. Stop.
Right.
Yeah. Just, come on. Talk about hope. This guy.
It was nice to have hope again. It was nice to have
tackle the direction. What'd you think? How it's bright. It's colorful.
Yes. The welcome return of color to the Superman movie.
Yep.
Yes.
Production design.
Well, and by the way, though, again, I'm sitting here in Paul's fabulous little studio, and I'm looking across at the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 poster, and I see all of the color of these characters. There's so much color on that poster. And I think of James Gunn, and I'm like, yes, he is the man who can bring back the brightness and the vibrance of Superman, of what this story can be. The hope, the glory, the fun, but still grounded in truth.
And reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And humanity. Mm-hmm. Grounded in humanity. So great. I don't think we need to do a full synopsis of the film, do we?
No.
Do we want to just go...
We did.
I already did this.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
no, I was
fade up. Warner Brothers. No.
I couldn't take notes, obviously, during the movie theater. So it's like I just kind of, I don't know, favorite moments, things that stood out to you. We've been tackling them slowly.
Well, I'm an avid listener of the Howard Stern Show. I've been listening to it every episode for like 30 years. It's crazy. As soon as I moved to Chicago, I could listen to Howard on the radio because they didn't syndicate him in the little towns I lived in before then. And then he moved to Sirius, and I've listened to every episode. There's a cast member on his show named Richard Christie, one of the comedians and writers and producers of the show. And James Gunn is also a big Howard Stern fan. Richard Christie's from Kansas. So Gunn approached Richard, who has a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has one line or something like, "Get him," or something like that. He says, Richard's parents are from Kansas. Can I record your parents and play the footage from your parents for my actors who are playing Ma and Pa Ken? I want them to be authentically Kansan. And so, when Richard's dad calls into the Howard Stern Show, it's always hilarious because he's just a bumpkin. He calls in, he's like, "Hey, Richard, this is your dad. How about them Chiefs? Well, we found ourselves a deer on the side of the road. We're going to whip it up and have ourselves a dinner tonight. Going down to Taco Tico tomorrow." And it's just always the best. And so I was laughing inside when Ma and Pa Kent showed up, and they had that sort of way of talking like that. They nailed it.
Yeah.
And James Gunn apparently was like thrilled that he could have this source material for the actors to play, and especially I'm just so proud of you, Clark. They played Tom and Pat Christie to a T.
And by the way, that moment, I'm just so proud of you. Totally honest, totally beautiful, heartfelt. Still in that character, but just very, very beautiful moment. And thank you, James Gunn, for not killing off the dad again as part of his origin, whatever, right? We don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Let's see a universe where he doesn't die. Let's see that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Let's do it.
Oh, and then, of course, the switch out to his parents' footage at the end is outstanding.
Fantastic.
And Superman smiling as a final shot.
Oh, my God,
is just
yes.
gold.
Yeah.
I just felt like they got so many things right. But more so than anything, I guess one of the reasons why I loved it is because I could not relate to the trials and tribulations that, Henry Cavill was going through. Okay? I'm a human. I can relate to what Cornsweat is going through. The fact that he's got people who just hate him. People who think he's okay, or just trying to do the right thing in any given situation, because the world is complex.
In the face of politics.
Yes,
He's like,
exactly.
yes, you have your politics, but there's also right and wrong.
Yes.
And those things are often very different.
Right, exactly.
And I know the difference.
Yeah. It just, I rooted for him. Non-stop, I rooted for him.
I agree with everything you're saying. I still want to put in the point that we mentioned for Man of Steel, and it's in Batman v Superman too, really, is I think in a lot of ways those movies were really more sci-fi films. The setup of Superman and the alien thing and everything was very, very focused on the alien aspect. I think that's a lot of the reason why the Krypton stuff was so important to Man of Steel and that setup and all of that. It was bigger, it was different, and I think this is a superhero film. And I don't think this is a sci-fi movie. This is a superhero movie. Now, keep comparing Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a lovely marriage between sci-fi and superhero.
Yeah.
But this, to me, is a superhero movie.
Yeah, I heard somebody describe this saying it actually didn't feel like a Superman film. Just felt like a comic, a DC comic film. And I was like, oh, interesting. I felt like I was definitely in that world, but I still felt like it was a Superman film because I related to him and I loved him and he was wonderful and all that stuff.
Another upgrade from the previous incarnations was a choice to avoid collateral damage. Almost hilariously so.
Yeah.
Like how blatant it was. All right, everybody out?
Yep.
All right, up here, guy. And he flies away to get so no one hits by fire. Like, that needed to happen.
Yes.
Because it was so egregious in the movies from Zack Snyder. But so it got to be hilarious every time. Like, all right, everybody clear out. All right, everyone's getting out of the way. Good. All right.
Right. What did you think of him rescuing the baby, that whole sequence? Because I think in terms of CG stuff, that was probably the sequence for me that went a little far.
I think that was probably the weakest sequence there.
Yeah.
Part of the big visual noise that is all that stuff.
Right.
And the baby didn't look great, and the baby was used for like comical takes, or cute takes or whatever. Just give the baby to Crypto and let Superman do his man thing where he's got to fight bad guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's already...
That would have been enough.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess they wanted to save Soups by fighting lots of bad guys for our final scene in the very end. I don't know. But I agree. That's probably the weakest scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Although the moment before that, Anthony Harrigan, who I did not realize who that was until, you can't see people under makeup, obviously. Sometimes you can, hear the voice and see, an expression or two, and you go, oh, I know who that actor is. He was lost in that character for me, and I've never seen him play anything like this. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Anthony
I saw a picture
Harrigan,
of him, and he looked familiar.
If you saw him, then instantly you go, I've seen him in several things. First off, Barry. He's this bald actor. He has alopecia, just like my buddy Derek Mears. So he doesn't have any hair on his body at all, which makes him great for special effects makeup. But it's just like, I've never seen him play a dramatic role like this before. He was so good and goofy and weird in this, and not in a comedic way. He was just being that character, just grounded. I thought he was just fantastic, which isn't easy to achieve when you are under so much makeup.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I felt
and he was handed a character that had a moment of major depth without a lot of setup.
Yeah.
And we all felt for him in that moment. One of the things about that whole sequence in the prison, whatever.
Yeah, pocket universe.
Yeah, the pocket universe. When they turn on him, like when he's like trying to help Superman, and then they're turning on him, and you're just like, what these people are? Why aren't they? They're not help. Oh my God!
You start to think they are awful. They all belong in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did feel that way a little bit because it's like the girl right next to him says, "No, I saw him first. Hey, he's doing something," and then you see her coming out at the end. It's just like you start to realize that maybe I don't know. She wasn't that great.
No.
She can go right back to her crappy blogging. We learned nothing.
Yeah.
But it was weird to put Metamorpho's kid directly across from Metamorpho. I would have just said, we got your kid, you don't know where he is, but anything fancy happens down here, we're going to off him. Instead, no, we'll see him, he'll be right over there, and it'll be perfectly safe.
Yeah.
But, don't do anything weird. And then when they do something weird, doesn't help anyway. I mean, the whole plan, like I said, there was a little faulty.
Yeah.
I mentioned this at the IHOP. After the IHOP, I'm going to mention it again. Once again, we have a throwback to Superman for the Quest for Peace by the fact that, Superman's been cloned and he's basically fighting himself.
Yeah, Ultraman is indeed Superman.
And 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny.
Corin Swet, not a known commodity, so when he actually revealed himself, I wasn't aware it was him until Lex said, we've cloned you. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
But the way it was revealed, you were
that's
like...
funny. I didn't...
Yeah,
It's funny.
You're like, who that is? Is that Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, because his hair is. Oh, yeah.
Same. I had the exact same thing, and then, but you could tell by the way that they did it. It was like, I'm supposed to know who that person is.
Yes,
right. I don't.
Right.
So I'm just gonna sit and wait.
I think I was doing that too.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know how often Corin Swet played Ultraman. Obviously, when they're on screen together.
Oh, yeah.
But when he's not on screen together, did Corin Swet put on the black suit, or you just got the stunt double doing all that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Good point.
I don't know.
Just to match.
When we talked about Superman Returns, one of the complaints that came up from people was that there were no real big fight scenes in it.
Yeah.
This certainly had a lot of big fight scenes, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, and in true wonderful storytelling fashion, they were filled with both great fights and great story unfolding.
Yes.
Which, to me, is the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, once again, how does the superhero use their superpower? That tells you about that superhero. Once again, a giant middle finger.
Yeah.
Popping up out of the ground, a green middle finger to knocking over tanks and stuff. Yeah, that is Guy Gardner doing what he does. I mean, it's so great. I even loved the action sequence that just happened in the background when he's having a very quiet moment
my
with Lois.
God.
You
That's
see the imp from another
So
dimension. The
brilliant.
giant green baseball bat hitting
that
on
part
it.
was hilarious.
Do you need to get back there? No. That's
they got it. They got it
another
handled.
dimension.
Did you all turn into to 6-year-old boys when the Hall of Justice.
Oh,
bit.
I mean, oh my
on.
goodness, just seeing it for real
Yep.
was like
Didn't expect that. Yeah.
that
100%.
moment for me was just it was so fulfilling.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
With the Justice Gang.
Justice Gang. I love that. Like, this guy's not going to join us. He's like, the Justice Gang. He's like, oh, that's a cool name. He's like, all right, he can go.
You're right.
I need another vote, so you're in. Yeah.
That's so great. I was surprised. The kid who has the yellow flag with the Superman symbol on
Yes.
it and says Superman and all that, and they use that in the trailer, and man, that pulls on your heartstrings. Kid's really good in that role, and man, I was really waiting for the superhero moment of, he hits the ground, hand down, that whole thing, and you just see like his boot, and he looks up, and the camera's right there. I was waiting for that moment, and then it never happened. We got Guy Gardner, and he does this whole smart-ass thing. Hey, kid, you got an upgrade.
Yeah.
I friggin' love that part.
but you got an upgrade.
Superman's busy. You got an upgrade. I mean, I love that moment so much. It was great.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Okay, did this movie meet or exceed your expectations, Justin?
Far, far, far exceeded my expectations.
Nice.
My bar was very low. I was hopeful,
Yeah.
but my bar was very low. And the reason why is because DC has been making wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong decision since The Dark Knight.
Right.
Okay? Dark Knight was the end. 3, I thought was bad, had some major problems with it. And anything they've released since then, I don't know. Aquaman, I enjoyed. I thought the first one was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed Wonder Woman, even with the terrible ending. But DC has been saying again and again, yeah, but now we're going to do it right. But now we're going to do it right. Now we're righting the ship. You guys, we're going to be on the same level as Marvel. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. And it was just, it was hurtful. And then they were rebooting again. And it was like, okay, I can't take it anymore. I genuinely did not become excited about this movie until the first trailer.
Huh.
Up until then, I was indifferent. I was, okay, crypto's going to be in it. All right.
I'll do a podcast about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
But it was like, then that first trailer came out, and I went, I'm interested in this.
Okay.
I'm excited in this. Because once again, right off the bat, we were getting bright and happy and hopeful, and it wasn't dour and awful and doesn't it suck to be a superhero?
The tagline, look up, which is better than It
yeah.
Begins. Some other ones
Right.
say It Begins.
Yeah.
No. Look up is great, though.
Yeah.
So, no, I said it before, I'll say it again. I came out of this movie and I was just so blown away by how much I liked it. I did not expect to enjoy this film. Did I love the film? I don't know if I loved it, but I really, 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 really liked it. I told you, I agreed with those scores.
Yeah.
As a critic, mid-80s. As a fan, mid-90s.
So mid-90s is not loved it for you?
No, 100% would be absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, I really, really enjoyed this.
Got
film.
it. Okay.
I mean, I saw it twice. Happily.
got it.
I'd go see it again.
Yeah.
If someone gave me a ticket, I don't want to pay for it anymore. Tickets are expensive.
Yeah, second time I went with the A-list like I should have the first time.
Yeah. Paul, did this movie meet your expectations or did it exceed?
It met my expectations. Took 2 viewings, but it got there. Yeah, and I expected good things, and it met my expectations. There's still parts that are weird that I haven't gotten into yet, and overall, just again, the noise at the end, that I don't care. They're bludgeoning each other, and I just didn't care. And then when they got to the speech, I cared again, and so we went out on a high note.
I like that. For me, it exceeded my expectations. When there was a trailer that teased the interview moment, we talked about it on the show, my heart sunk because I thought, oh my God, here we go again. This is going to be the same thing as we've always had. And it was a callback to without it being the same. And it was so well written. It was so great in that moment. And other moments, of course. But so for me, in general, this movie exceeded my expectations for that. And also, I was very apprehensive about the multiple superheroes in it. I didn't know how that was going to play out. I didn't know if I was going to be so on board. I also was concerned, like, are we going to get like origin stories of these guys within this? We're going to go do that for a little while and come back and like, I don't want to do all that. And so when they didn't, and it was just like, no, metahumans, here are these guys, there's that guy over there, and he's kind of a prick, and that, whatever, and it's like, oh, this is great, I'm in, So for me, it exceeded my expectations.
Still, Hawk Girl killed the president of Baravia. If there's no fallout for that, that's a little weird. She did more than he ever did to Paul. He's like, I flipped over some tanks,
yeah, exactly,
blew up a Jeep or whatever.
She
made my point.
Killed a guy.
Put him against a cactus. She killed the guy. So I'd be curious to see if something comes of that.
To your point, one of the reasons why my bar was low is because DC has never, in its recent incarnation, has never understood how to bring people into the universe of each movie.
Yep.
Marvel brings them in for a reason. There's a reason the first time we see a Black Panther fight scene, there's a reason why we see it. Okay, he's going after Bucky because he thinks Bucky just killed his dad.
Right.
That's a great reason to bring him in and have him be a part of this. And it's a great scene, and he's highlighted, and you're like, I gotta see that movie because that character is awesome. Whereas DC just brings him in for no reason at all. It's just, let's bring this one in.
Right.
This one in. They'll say hello, and then they'll walk away.
Contractually obligated.
Right. Whatever. But finally, in this one, it's like, no, there's a reason for them all to be here.
Right.
We're not just throwing them in because we're going to have a spin-off movie.
Right.
In fact, some of these people aren't even coming up next. We don't even know about that. We're not crowbarring them in. There's a reason for them to be here. Incidentally, there's talks of a Mr. Terrific series. I'm in.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Come
and
on.
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
One thing they could have avoided also that knocks my bar down a little bit was the murder of Malik by Lex Luthor. And again, after we saw it the first time and we talked about it, I was shocked you didn't find that more shocking than I did. Close-up gunshot to the head, loud and violent, and it just seemed out of place with everything else in the movie. I felt the same way a little bit in Dial of Destiny when the goons kill the librarians or the other people who work with Indy. And but they got to blame him, and he's got to be on the run, and that sets up a whole thing. And that also sets up how bad they are. They killed two of them, though. It was like, you could have killed one, and then we get the point.
Right.
And this too, you knock him off the ledge. Even though a different way to kill him would have. But I get, you're setting up that Luthor's not just a goof, and he's not just a techno jerk.
Right.
He's evil, and he's dangerous, and he's bad. But that just seemed like
it's true.
A tone that just kind of we're going to go here for a second, and then we'll come back.
I'm going to say yes, but I think they also needed that moment so we could see the change in Metamorpho. This was the moment that Metamorpho is truly disturbed at what is happening.
That's all true. Yeah, and me too.
Yeah, but no, I completely agree. I do agree with you. It is. I think that specifically is the reason why they got the PG-13.
I felt like that moment was so raw and real, and it brought us into a reality where the stakes were real and they were high. As a storyteller, as a filmmaker, I love that. I respect it. I agree it was maybe a little far for what we've kind of set up in terms of tone of this movie, but it made it feel like there were real, honest stakes. My biggest complaint with most superhero, not most, but a lot of superhero movies, a lot of sci-fi or like Star Wars movies and things like that are coming out, not all of them, but like shows and things like that. The stakes don't feel real.
Yeah.
Somebody gets stabbed and they get they get whatever, they're fine. Somebody does it and they're okay, and no, this guy got shot. And it's just done. He can't undo it. And I think in some ways it's a little bit similar in tone to the way Clark Kent's human dad dies in the original Superman movie. Because in the original, it was something that he couldn't control. It was something he had no power over. And once again, here's a moment where he has no power and someone else does. Which actually raises the stakes even more than in the original Superman movie, because that's just, okay, well, I can't do anything about just natural causes.
Yeah.
But, here, this guy, I could have stopped, but I can't because my powers are gone.
Right. Well, and this time, this guy is dead because of me. He's dead by association.
Yeah.
I just thought it was the way he died. Bloodless, sure. At least they countered with the line, next I'll get that reporter you're always talking to.
Yeah.
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
A great line.
But also, you will often say, the franchises that fail, or the movies that fail, don't do exactly what you said that they just did, which is why this wins in a great way. They had a terrible, awful moment, and they countered it with a bit.
Yeah.
It was a slight bit, but it's a bit nonetheless, right? Because we're in on the joke. Oh, he is that guy, you know. Again, I think that's the brilliance of this movie.
In this one, in watching this, they say shit a lot. Not only do they say shit like 6 times. Okay,
I thought it was like 3.
It's definitely more than 3. It's quite a few. But also, in watching it, I also got to the new Leonardo DiCaprio film coming out, and in the trailer of the Leonardo DiCaprio film, he says, "My wife and I used to do a lot of bad shit." And I'm like, wait, in the trailer you say that? I'm sorry, I'm a guy with kids.
Right. Did the kids have any reaction to Malik getting shot in the head?
I covered their eyes. That's not a joke. And I told them ahead of time. I said, we'll go see this movie. It's okay for you to see. I'm going to cover your eyes for a little bit. And I don't want you to fight me, but I'm going to cover your eyes. And so when he came out, he pulls out the gun, and I was just like covering on both sides. I said, and they were great. And they loved the movie. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, points to the score. The composers, John Murphy and David Fleming. Murphy's been on all of Gunn's stuff in the superhero world, so I thought he did a great job of sort of technoizing old themes, instead of dun, 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 dun. It was, like a synth kind of guitar vibe.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it's a shade of that, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then when the villains were up to stuff, it was like like it was this dark sort of like Nine Inch Nails-y type dirge, and so I thought they did a great job of bringing new stuff with shades of the old.
Right. Noticeable, but still awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
I think
before, can you hum any of that score? No, I can't. There was music playing at some point, I do recall.
Yeah. Nods to the music supervisor for all of and the music editor who implemented all of the fun, awesome, other pop, rock, whatever music you want to call that.
I'm sure it was handpicked by Gunn because
I'm sure
every project he's in, including Peacemaker, the sound, I want them to release a Peacemaker season soundtrack because he is just so good at grabbing music.
Yeah. I'll say this. That may have all been him, but I do think when films are made, there are many people involved who, especially if you have a team of people you trust, who will bring things to the table. And I wouldn't be surprised if the music supervisor or maybe some of the producers. I think there's a lot of people involved in this that are good. He's going to surround himself with people who are of an equal level of him,
The song that plays while Mr. Terrific is doing his thing is so great. I've never heard that song before in my life. Instantly had to download it.
Yeah,
it's called 5 Years Later by Noah and the Whale, a group I've never heard of, a song I've never heard, and I love this thing. It's fantastic.
Love that. That's awesome. In general, that shows the power of music and the influence and the combination of music and visuals in movies like this, that fight scene that we love so much with Mr. Terrific and Lois and, all of that, it is very reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy for sure.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking about that the whole time. But I didn't care because it was awesome. And I was happy to see that 100%. Again. I was like, whatever. Did
I ever get tired of Dubs and John Woo movies? No, I didn't.
Okay, I want to ask one question. This came up today in a discussion with a friend of mine. Some people were saying that they were upset about the wokeness of this movie. I didn't feel like I saw much of that. Am I wrong?
A superhero is by nature woke because he's alert to injustice and talks about it.
Okay.
That's it. So, yep, they're right. And if they hate that, then they hate justice, I suppose. So it's stupid.
Okay. What about you?
I'm not always up on these things.
Yeah.
I watched the movie and I went, I don't know what's wrong with this movie. I don't know why people... I loved this interpretation of Superman. I loved everything about it. Because that's the guy I want to be, I want to be that guy. You can save lives.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have gone in there. I don't care. I saved their life. Right, but you weren't supposed to go. I don't care.
Yeah.
People are still alive because of me. They're still alive. They're not dead.
Yeah.
I stopped someone from killing somebody else, and they're going to not kill them because I was there. And because I'm still here.
Wait, did you save someone?
Well, I mean, maybe. You guys don't know what I do at night. I don't know. You know,
Sean helped his buddy while AAA was coming and waited with him till AAA arrived today. In my eyes, Sean, you're a superhero.
There you
Thanks,
go.
man.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know what the wokeness is about. I don't understand because I'm not up on all that stuff.
Yeah,
Just go with what I said as being right.
I agree with Paul.
I agree with you as well. I mean, I when my friend said that, I was like, what does that mean in terms of okay?
I genuinely don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, that's what I said. Woke means to just be alert to racism and other social injustices and, you know, potentially doing something about them, but at least being aware of them and bringing them up. There was one review that said, you know, we live in a world now where it's tough for Superman to do the right thing because, you know, if Superman says save the whales, there'll be some idiot going, what about the plankton?
Yeah.
You know, so like that's the world we're in now.
Yeah.
But overall, it's basically being aware of injustice and bringing it up and calling it out and doing something about it potentially. And it's, you know, taking it to the furthest extreme. But there's nothing wrong with that. But they've made that wrong. But that's basically the charge of a superhero. So, yep. He's woke. Sorry.
Yeah. Great.
Go see Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. I guess the only last thing I do want to say is how much I enjoyed the relationship between Superman and Lois in this. I thought it had a lot of depth. There was a little bit of trying to figure it out, a little bit of brokenness, certainly with her, and even with him. Like, he doesn't quite know how to navigate any of this really either.
Yeah.
And I just thought all that vulnerability was awesome. And
beautiful.
I really liked that she saves him, and not in a way, to be real, I like that she saves him and not in a way that feels like you're emasculating people, which sometimes comes up in movies where they feel like suddenly, in order to raise the level of this person, we have to make this person feel like they're less.
Gotcha.
And I didn't feel that.
No,
I felt
not at
like
all.
she saved him because she cares about him and she believes in him and what he stands for, and that was it. I loved that. There was an equalness to their relationship, and it didn't have to be about one being better than the other. It was just about them caring for each other, and I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Rank them.
Oh man.
1, 2, Superman. Superman Lives. Man of Steel. 3, 4.
Ooh.
Wait, Superman Dawn of Justice. 3, 4.
Wait, it was 6 plus 7 is 11.
Go say that again.
Minus.
Go for it one more time.
Okay. Superman the movie. Superman 2. Superman.
Gotcha. Because you said Superman Lives, and that's not a thing.
Superman.
So okay,
returns.
I'm right there
He
with you. I was
returns.
like, am I
Whatever.
remembering?
Like,
did
Superman
we
Lives.
do that one? And I just don't
didn't
remember
happen.
it.
Okay, well, a reason to redo it is great to hear.
Yeah.
So, Superman the movie, Superman 2, Superman Returns,
Okay.
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Superman 3, Superman 4,
Okay.
Quest for Peace.
Man, okay.
I've got some changes.
All right, I feel like I need a list to look at here. Okay, let me try to remember this here. Okay, certainly Superman, the movie, the original. Man, this is where I have a hard time. Is this second one now? I don't know. I don't know where I fall on my second one.
Okay. Tie.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, this Superman movie is going to be up there. So I guess I'll say Superman 2, this Superman movie, Man of Steel, Superman Returns. What is next? Batman v Superman?
Yes, and then 3 and 4.
And then 3 and 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think previously I had Man of Steel above Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Then I watched Batman v Superman and just like soured further on the whole Snyderverse.
Yeah.
So Singer's version jumped above there.
I'm different than you guys on a couple of these. Superman 2 is still my pinnacle, I think.
The Lester-Donner combo is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I actually
to
want to
one
go
of
back.
them and,
I was just watching a clip. I had totally, because we watched the Donner cut.
Yeah.
And it had been so long since I watched the Lester one. I was watching a clip. I was like, I totally forgot about the Eiffel Tower thing.
Yeah.
I love that moment. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Superman 2. And this is tough because
See?
I
Yes.
think I'm going to say Superman 1 and then this.
Yeah.
But they are so close in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I really did enjoy this movie. Then Superman Returns. then Batman v Superman, because I still don't like Man of Steel. Man of Steel.
Wow. Wait, you like Batman v Superman over Man of Steel?
I do, but we talked about this last time. I like it because it's Batman. I don't,
okay.
as a Superman movie,
I see.
Throw it away, but I'm on a deserted island for the rest of my life, and do I have to watch Batman v Superman or Man of Steel? I'm going to watch Batman v Superman.
Wow.
Hands down.
That's so interesting because I just find Man of Steel to still have heart. It's not hopeful, I would agree, but I still feel like Man of Steel has a heart to it, and his journey of trying to discover who he is and how he fits in, I find fascinating.
I don't need to take that away from you, and there are plenty of Schneider fans out there that enjoy the Schneiderverse that would agree with you.
I can't.
All right, and now it is time for fun facts about Superman. I don't know, dude.
Just Superman. That's it. Just Superman.
2025. Do we need that? I don't know.
Fun facts about Superman. That's it.
All right. This is a fun fact, but also a bit of a trivia question. We know Nicholas Hoult previously auditioned for the role of Bruce Wayne / the Batman in The Batman, and he auditioned for the role of Superman in this movie, but got Lex Luthor. In the Marvel Universe, there was someone else who auditioned for a hero that was later cast as a villain. Do you know who it was?
Well, Robert Downey Jr.
It's a lot of damn movies.
No, it was not Robert Downey Jr.
Because he didn't get cast as a superhero.
Right. Someone who auditioned to be a superhero, but instead was cast as a villain.
As a villain?
Yep. He was cast as his brother, half-brother.
Tom Hiddleston?
Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Thor, ended up getting Loki.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun facts about Superman and Thor.
Technically the Marvel Universe.
And Thor.
One of the Raptor soldiers, the armed force employed by Lex Luthor to take down Superman, is played by Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Totally uncredited, but a lot of fun. All of the robots in the Fortress of Solitude.
So we know who he is.
We do know who
Earlier,
Michael
you were
Rosenbaum.
throwing all sorts of names of people we didn't know who they were. Did you know?
Yeah.
Timmy Bottenstein auditioned to be Superman. He did. At least we know Michael Rosenbaum. So that is
a fun fact about Superman.
Relevance.
All of the robots in the Fortress of Solitude were voices of people that have worked with Gunn before. You will know all 4 of the names. Obviously, number 4, who has another one of the great lines in the movie. He's like, I'd also perhaps a name. 4 is a name. So is Gary. Alan Tudyk.
He calls him Gary. That's
Yeah.
right.
Alan Tudyk worked with him before. Jennifer Holland. He's worked with her once or twice. She's his wife. Palm Clementif, who is Mantis, and Michael Rooker, who I didn't know till I saw the credits. I was like, Michael Rooker's in this movie? Yeah, he's one of the robots as well. Fun facts about Superman. David Cornsweet sustained a painful groin injury during the course of this film, and you literally get to see it happening on screen. That expression that he has in the mid-air flight where Ultraman
he gets hit in the
kicks
nuts.
him right in the groin, that's a real expression. That is really happening.
Oh.
They kept it. Yeah.
Wow.
Fun facts about Superman's balls.
Yes.
And ball.
At the end of the movie, Lois Lane asks Superman for an interview, and it's filmed in the arcade, Cleveland. Do you know why? They
Because
specifically went there for this.
that's where this originates.
That's exactly correct. That's
Yeah.
where Siegel and Schuster came up with it.
Yeah.
Came up with Superman originally. Principal of photography kicked off on Superman's comic book birthday, which was February 29th.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, which is cool. And then finally, which I thought for sure one of you was going to talk about during the course of this, I'm like, you're going to blow my final fact. Do you know about the special cameo that takes place in this movie connected to Christopher Reeve?
Yeah, I do.
His son is the news reporter. He's the news correspondent, which they hold on for a solid, minute It's a long report that this guy has. Will Reeve is his name, and he actually is out there. He does stuff for like...
He's a reporter.
He is a reporter.
So it's a legit bit of casting.
Yeah, he's got an Emmy for his reporting, and he works for... He's on the Today Show from time to time, and Good Morning, and all that stuff. Good Morning America. But yeah.
His interview with David Corenswet is worth watching. It's very cool because it's as if cameras aren't even there, the way they take their time, and they're very thoughtful talking to one another. They take moments to come up with a response to some of the questions, and it's a really good interview.
Yeah,
I thought.
100%. That's what I was going to finish with. That's one thing that we'll be posting because
I had to blow some part of it
sweet.
for you.
It's sweet. Yes, you did. It's a very sweet interview to watch. You just go, yeah, that's Christopher Reeve's son.
Yeah.
And then here's our new Superman.
Wow.
This is great. Yeah. It's very cool.
That's awesome. I'm going to check that out.
Those
cool.
were fun facts about Superman.
I will post that at some point, that interview.
All right.
So follow us on socials.
Yes. Okay. DC Universe Powers quiz. All right. I am going to give you the powers of a superhero. We saw many superheroes in this film, right?
Yeah.
I am going to give you the powers of a superhero or supervillain. You have to tell me who it is. These are multiple choice.
Okay.
For example, if I were to say, this hero has heat vision, super strength, flight, freeze breath, and is vulnerable to kryptonite, I would say A, Shazam, B, Batman, C, Martian Manhunter, or D, Superman. Okay. So
it's multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
That's going to help.
Here we go. And they are varying degrees of difficulty.
Okay.
All of them you should be able to get.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
You don't need to have a rich comic book history to get these.
All right.
If you watch the Super Friends as a kid, if you've seen all the movies, you'll be able to get these. This character uses a power ring to create hard light constructs powered by willpower. A, Cyborg, B, The Flash, C, Green Lantern, or D, the Ring Bearer.
Green Lantern.
One of my favorite heroes when I was reading comics in college even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah.
The Emerald Knight.
They relaunched, I had a Green Lantern #1 when they relaunched with Hal Jordan. And we're going to see Hal and John Stewart on a Lanterns TV show, which I'm very excited
that's
about.
cool.
Kyle Chandler is excellent casting, by the way.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably the only person who likes the Green Lantern movie, but I did like it.
Yep, you are.
You are. This villainous can manipulate plants, secrete pheromones, and is immune to toxins. A, poison ivy. B, Catwoman. C, Talia al Ghul. Or D, salacious succulent.
Well, I mean,
It's poison ivy.
It's poison ivy, but salacious succulent.
I was going to stick around to hear the stupid one.
Right.
Or the awesome one. This hero has godlike strength, a lasso of truth, and a magical shield. Name her real name. A, Dinah Princeton. B, Princess Diana. C, Diana Prince. Or D, the artist form.
He can't even get it out.
Diana
He
Prince.
can't even get out his own bed.
Dr. Butler. Or D. D, the artist formerly known as Prince.
No,
C.
it's not D.
It's C.
It's Diana Prince.
I listened to our exchange about Dr. Buttlord, and seriously, the punchline isn't funny. Our responses to how dumb the punchline is far funnier than the actual punch. Which I said, I'm like, I can't get this out, and it's not even that funny. All right, here we go. This hero can phase through walls, time travel, and heal rapidly. A, Nightwing. B, Superman. C, The Flash. Or D, Mas Rapido.
The Flash.
Mas Rapido.
It is indeed The Flash.
The Flash.
This villain is a former scientist turned alien android with a 12th level intellect and a desire to catalog all life. A, Brainiac. B, the Riddler. C, Reverse Flash. Or D, Alejandro Eliando.
What is? I don't even know what's funny about that. Except your glee.
It's just so dumb. That's what's funny. Alejandro Eliando.
Could you repeat the answer?
I'm crying again. This villain is a former scientist.
Brainiac. All right, let's keep going.
This anti-hero can detach his limbs and use them as weapons.
Huh?
Is it? Yes, this anti-hero can... I said villain. This anti-hero can detach his limbs and use them as weapons. A, Reverse Flash. B, TDK. C, Lobo. Or D... Once again, punchline's not nearly as funny.
I'm sure it isn't.
Or D, John Handed. Or D, John Handed Foot.
It's not D.
In my mind, when I wrote that, I was like, they might guess John Handed Foot.
Who? I don't know who it is.
TDK is the Dark Knight, right?
TDK is the detachable kid.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
That's not what I would have done.
It was TDK. This character is half human, half machine with the ability to interface with technology. A, Blue Beetle. B, Steel. C, Cyborg. Or D, Computo Tutor.
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
It is Cyborg.
Run out of steam, I think, with writing these, so you're not laughing as much.
Well, I'm trying to get through them because it took us like 10 minutes.
We
to
have
get through
30.
four
We had
questions.
39 minutes on the tape 38 minutes ago.
This magical being can summon lightning, possess wisdom, strength, and the speed of gods. Is it A, Dr. Fate, B, Shazam, C, Superman, or D, Jesus?
Shazam.
Shazam?
Shazam is correct.
Okay.
This hero reincarnates across lifetimes and wields a magical mace. A, Hawkgirl, B, Zatanna, C, Raven, or D, Maceface.
Hawk Girl.
Yeah.
Hawkgirl is correct. This villain has ice-based powers and is often portrayed as a tragic figure seeking a cure for his wife. A, Mr. Freeze, B, Killer Frost, C, Captain Cold, or D, Shamrock Shake.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr.
It is Mr. Freeze. All right, everybody freeze. This sorcerer wears a golden helmet and is the host of Naboo, an ancient magical being.
What?
This sorcerer wears a helmet and is the host of Naboo, an ancient magical being. Is it A, Zatara, B, Dr. Fate, C, John Constantine, or D, Padme Amidala?
Boss Nass was it?
I have no idea.
Dr. Fate?
It is Dr. Fate.
There
Yes.
it is.
This shape, if you had to watch Black Adam in order to know that one.
Yeah, you're better off not.
Yeah.
This shape-shifting hero is telepathic, can fly, and is vulnerable to fire. A, Superman, B, Red Tornado, C, Martian Manhunter, or D, Dry Stick Boy.
Well, C.
C.
It is C. This alien has a scarab attached to his spine that gives him armor and weaponry.
Blue Beetle. Oh, sorry.
A, Booster Gold, B, Golden Eagle, C, Blue Beetle, or D, Mumtacular.
I thought for sure D was going to be Golden Shower.
Would have been funnier than Mumtacular.
Blue Beetle.
It is Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
This anti-hero is virtually indestructible, smokes cigars, and rides a space bike. A, Bane, B, Deathstroke, C, Lobo, or D, Harley Quinn Davidson.
Lobo. And so you'll never see Jason Momoa as Aquaman again.
Yeah.
Where he is cast as
'Cause
Lobo,
he's-
and they will not cross over.
Correct.
Oh.
This character casts spells by speaking backwards and performs stage magic as a cover. A, Zatanna, B, Raven, C, Mr. Mixelplix, or D, David Copperpipe.
Mixelplix.
And Mr. Mixixaplix.
It's actually Zatanna.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mixelplix
I just like
doesn't
saying
speak. He doesn't speak backwards.
Oh.
But if you trick him into saying his name backwards, he has to go back to his dimension. This villain was born in prison, has enhanced strength, intelligence, and regenerates thanks to a serum. A, Killer Croc. B, Deathstroke. C, Bane. Or D, Santo del Diablo.
Deathstroke.
No.
Santo di Diablo.
It is not Santo del Diablo.
Who's the first one?
Killer Croc
Yeah.
or Bane. Are the
Bane.
only two you haven't guessed.
Bane.
It's Bane. That's correct. Born in prison.
You're very impressed with us. We didn't get that one right at all.
This hero uses acrobatic combat skills and now leads the Titans. A, Red Wing. B, Nightwing. C, Red Hood. or D, Hoodie and the Blowfish?
Yeah, or Nightwing.
Nightwing.
He's got no time for comedy right now. This villain uses fear gas to terrorize his victims and is obsessed with psychology. Is it A, Hugo Strange, B, Scarecrow, C, Mad Hatter, or D, Psycho Killer?
Scarecrow.
This former assassin has enhanced reflexes, strength, and a healing factor. He's a frequent adversary of the Teen Titans. A, Deathstroke, B, Deadshot, C, Deadman, or D, the Deadhead.
Deathstroke.
It is
Deathstroke the Terminator, which is
Deathstroke. I always get Deadshot and Deathstroke confused. All right, our final one. This villain's primary power is manipulating and generating intense cold, often through his signature cold gun. A, Killer Frost, B, the Icicle, C, Captain Cold, or D, the Freeze Gun guy.
The first one.
Killer Frost. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Second one.
Captain Cold.
Nobody knows that.
Wrong. Yes, you do.
Well,
if you
now I
watch
do.
Legends of Tomorrow, you would know.
I
it's
did
Captain
not.
Cold.
I don't watch DC on television.
Okay, all right.
There's DC on television?
Yeah, it's not great.
I don't know.
Legends of Tomorrow is a lot of fun.
Ah.
You get Brandon Routh. Brandon Routh was a regular for like all 7 seasons. At one point, he's actually Superman again. It's pretty great.
That's awesome.
It is pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's basically Clark Kent the entire time. Okay. That was it. That's all I got.
That's it.
Man, that was amazing.
That was
That was
amazing.
fun. Yeah.
All right. I don't know what's going to happen next with these movies, though. I think they're making Clayface. At one point, they had scheduled, they're making Supergirl, clearly.
Yes.
The Authority, The Brave and the Bold, and Swamp Thing were all in the books. But I don't know. But Clayface was not announced when they first announced the DCU's Chapter 1, which is called Gods and Monsters. So that's what this is, the first film of that chapter. And they're already throwing it out if Clayface is happening. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Swamp Thing was tossed aside. I mean, it seems to me like they're clearly going with a Supergirl.
Oh, yeah.
Based
That's
on
being
the
shot
tag.
right now.
Yeah. So, there you go.
What do you feel about that? I mean, she was fun in that scene. A whole movie.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I trust James Gunn.
Yeah, I do too. Since we're on the subject, what's next for us? I think it's going to be Tron Ares. Is that correct?
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds
But I
good.
want to watch Tron Legacy again because the first time I was like,
I've only seen it once, so yeah. It'd be interesting to watch
maybe
it
it's a
second time.
two-timer like Superman.
Can we squeeze all 4 Fantastic Four movies in the next 2 weeks?
No.
No.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, so did you say do you want to or can we?
Yeah.
Either?
I mean,
I see. No.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't mind revisiting the first 2. I like those ones, but
Corman?
No.
no. Oh God,
I want to go back and watch Corman. I've only seen, half of a scene, the one they put money into.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the rest of the film.
I don't know. I don't know those ones at all.
All right, well, whatever we're getting to next, you'll find out on social media where
Yes.
you can follow us at, what is it, Countdown Movie
Countdown
Show?
Show.
Countdown Movie
Show. Yeah, it may
I
change.
said shoe. Countdown Movie Show.
Countdown
Movie Show is totally different.
Yeah.
Again, it's just stupid X is different. It's like just called Countdown to 9 at the moment.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. I actually enjoyed revisiting all of these Superman movies. I really, really did. It was awesome.
Things you would think would turn into work, Superman 4, were not.
No.
There was, 3 and 4, it's still just so great to see Christopher Reeve as Superman. Like, it really is,
Well, and honestly, through our research and like kind of diving into things, it was fun to discover why those movies went south, what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, when you're a kid, you're just watching it, right? You're just going to the movies. So it was fun to find out what really happened, you know?
And I agree. Sean enjoyed going back and watching all those movies.
Well, Paul, we appreciate you coming along for the ride
That's right.
and enjoying it anyway.
Yep, and doing it anyway.
As always, gentlemen, it was a pleasure.
Yes. Who are you?
Oh, I'm me. I'm Sean Blodgett of Creative Motion Entertainment.
Paul Preston of the Movie Guys.
And Justin Bowler of The World.